That sound means it's Tuesday and it's time for Asian Nation. How are you? Good morning. Glad you're with us this morning. Okay, cut the stuff. Let's get vaccinated. Let's get this thing over with. We're about to get into some serious trouble again if we don't. So don't worry about the vaccine. Get the vaccine. Get it done. All right, that's my rant because we got too big of a show today. It's a huge show today. I've been so looking forward to this program. I know some of you have been familiar with the CBS series Big Brother, and Big Brother is on Sunday nights, Wednesday nights, and Thursday nights during the summer. Chen Moonves has been the host of Big Brother since its inception 21 years ago. They're in season 23 right now because a couple of years they had two versions of it in the same year. They had an all-star show. They had a Big Brother Celebrity Edition. So Chen Moonves has been the host here in the United States for the U.S. version of Big Brother because Big Brother is all over the world, but this is the only country where Julie has been the primary host since its inception. So we have Chen Moonves we're going to be visiting with here in just a moment. It was a pre-recorded interview last week. And then we're going to catch up with Ian Terry. Remember Ian? Ian was a Tulane student that was on Big Brother 14, and that aired back in 2012. He was 21 years old at the time. He's 30, lives in Houston now, chemical engineer. We're going to catch up with him as well, but it's all going to be right here on the Asian Nation today. Great show for you. So we're going to start you out with Chen Moonves, and I'll start out by playing the open to the Big Brother program that's currently on the air that you can see right here on Channel 9 on Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. Here's the current Big Brother Open. Enjoy. Chen, thank you so much for taking time out of what's a very busy day for you. Thursdays have got to be real busy, I would think. Your busiest ones.
Oh, yes. Every day is busy in the Big Brother house. I got, I have to sleep with one eye open, keep my eye on those house guests.
Speaking of Big Brother, thank you so much for all you guys did last summer to put on a great show. It was a great Big Brother series in the midst of COVID. Now things are relaxing a little bit, but we're not quite there yet. What has been done this year for this season, similar to last year, and what have you done differently, or has anything opened up a little bit more?
Well, thanks to the vaccine, all the house guests, they happen to be vaccinated. So, if you think about what we went through last year and pulled it off, making Big Brother look like a normal season, it's because we were ahead of our time, Johnny. Big Brother, the house is the original quarantine. We've been on for 21 years, and we were the first ones to lock people into our house. And last year, we just made sure they all tested negative. They all had to individually quarantine in a home by themselves and get tested every day for 2 weeks before moving in. We did the same thing this year. You may have heard, sadly, for one would-be house guest, even though she had been vaccinated, she tested positive. And she had no symptoms, and she had to withdraw. So that's when we got Claire in the house. And Claire has been playing a good game so far. She's very smart. She's won her first competition, being a team captain. So this year, everything that worked last year, we did again this year. For us behind the scenes, getting everyone tested every week. People who can work from home do work from home. We work in, colored pods so that if someone tests positive in the green pod, we know that we all have to get tested every day for 2 weeks. So the one big difference this summer is that when someone gets evicted from the house, they don't have to wear a mask sitting on stage with me. So, we're inching towards a normal season slowly.
Still no hugging or anything like that, I would think, not yet.
Right, no.
We have had 5 contestants from Louisiana, starting with season 2. We had Krista Stigall, I believe it was. Season 10, July of 2008, was Rennie Martin from New Orleans, right down the road from Baton Rouge. And then Shelly Moore, of course, in season 13. The big winner of 14, Ian Terry, who's now moved out of Louisiana and moved into Houston. We're going to catch up with him a little later this week as well. And then season 18, Victor Urio. So you have some thoughts about any of our Louisiana contestants?
Yeah, in that group, let's see, Krista got proposed to on finale night by Mike Boogie. They didn't get married. Ian, who went to Tulane, he is a former winner. And then Victor, he may not have won Big Brother, but he won a bigger prize. He is married to a former winner, Nicole, who played in All-Stars last year, and they're expecting their first baby. A year ago, they were just planning their wedding. Now they're married, and she's pregnant. So Big Brother has been, pretty good to a bunch of people from Louisiana. So,
well, I heard you say on another interview that you guys have a big track record of some of the most successful marriages coming out of Big Brother, and you compared it to, I believe, The Bachelor?
Well, I think we've had more marriages than The Bachelor and The Bachelorette combined. And not only have we had so many marriages, they're all still married. When you are living in a house cut off from the outside world with someone else, you really know what it's going to be like to be with that person. And it's a house that you can't escape. You can't just, go for a drive and have some alone time. You are with that person. So you really know what you're getting into, and you know the good, the bad, and the ugly. So yes, even last summer, 2 people who weren't even, on each other's radar romantically in the house just got engaged a month ago. Memphis and Christmas, he proposed to her. So yeah, there's something about the house. Even if you don't meet your future mate, I think as friends, you're bonded for life because you've all shared this rare experience called Big Brother. And people who haven't even been on the same season as someone else, you become friends because they kind of form their own, group coming out of it.
Well, that's kind of a test. They say if two people go on a trip together on vacation, you really get to know them. So they're in this house all summer long, and what better way to get to know somebody that could be a potential relationship? No question. Hey, I want to talk to you a little bit. We followed your career, tremendous career that you have had. You, of course, 8 years on The Talk. You were also on CBS This Morning. You said at one time that you really wanted to be a hard news journalist, and then Big Brother happened. And you're so good at it. I don't think it would be the same show without you, number one. Number two, you're the host of Big Brother since its inception, which Big Brother's all over the world in other countries. They've not had the same host since day one, except here in the United States, and that's you. Is this something that you feel might be your calling?
It's definitely something that was a pleasant surprise. And thank you for your kind words. Don't watch season one. I was very stiff. I was still in that like hard news, not like really an entertainment type person, and don't show any personality, which is why my nickname is the Chen Bot. Is it my calling? It is definitely in my DNA, and it is definitely something that I love doing, and I've gotten more and more comfortable doing it. I've been very lucky that God has blessed me with this show in my life, and for having it in my life for more than 2 decades. I hope it continues, but I would say during the pandemic this past year, like many of us, I really got in touch with my faith, and I feel like my calling is to use the gifts that God has blessed me with. I can't sing, but I can talk, and I know how to talk publicly. I would love to really, in addition to Big Brother, glorify God and do a faith-based television show. So working on something now, we'll see where it goes.
Well, you can talk and you can act. I remember you playing the ambassador on NCIS.
Terrorists were trying to kidnap Harris, not you.
Do you have any idea why?
No, but you might.
I don't understand.
Ma'am, we believe this might have been a kidnapping attempt.
Not all these images are of me. How do you know I was the target?
We'll find justice for them.
They gave their lives so I could live. No one can ever repay such a debt.
Oh my gosh, how much fun was that?
I was terrified. I really had that experience made me appreciate actors that much more. It was so hard. It's hard to act natural in an unnatural setting. And that's the key to being a good actor. And thank you. I did not think I was good, but the director and the producers, they were very skillful at cutting around, my flaws and mistakes, making me look better than I really was. So thank you.
You talked about season one being your beginning season. What season do you feel like you really started coming into your own?
I would say something in the double digits. It took me a long time, and I'm not sure why, because my whole career I've been on live television every day. I think there was something like in my own head, knowing that it was a prime time live show with a bigger audience, that my heart would always pound before and race so fast right before stepping out on a live stage. It might have been when we started having the live audience in studio. We did it that first season, and then we stopped for a number of seasons. But when you're talking with people and immediately, you get that immediate response, when you bomb, when you do well. And they're always so enthusiastic and they're into it. That really put me at ease, I think. So I'm not sure what season that was.
Well, you're fantastic. You're a great, we're so proud of you and all that you've done, but especially with the continuing success of Big Brother, and we wish you continued success on Big Brother. There's so many more things I want to ask you, but I got to let you go because you got other things to do. And then, of course, tonight, we're going to be airing this interview later, but tonight, when we're recording it, is your first eviction for season 23. Cannot believe that.
Yes, Johnny, I know. I mean, by the grace of God, for sure.
All right, I'm from the diary room. Bye, Julie.
Bye, Johnny. I'll keep everything between us.
Thank you.
And America.
Thank you. Julie Chen Moonves, what a fantastic guest. Of course, that was pre-recorded. We've already had our first eviction from the Big Brother house this year. It was this past Thursday. You can watch tomorrow night right on WAFB. You can watch Thursday night with another live eviction with Julie Chen Moonves, and then on Sunday. So Sunday and Wednesday and Thursday with Big Brother. We caught up with Ian Terry. I don't know if you remember Ian Terry. He was on in 2012. It was the summer of 2012. He was a student at Tulane University. He was selected for Big Brother, and he won season 14, which was 2012. And we have a clip of him actually winning. Take a look.
Congratulations.
There he is winning in 2012. It was season number 14 for Big Brother, and he was 21 years old then, and they invited him back last summer to take part in Big Brother All-Stars, where they put a lot of their winners together to compete yet again for another cash prize. He didn't win in All-Stars. He came into the top 5, and he had a conversation in the house last year that he kind of predicted his own demise, if you will. This is that conversation from the summer of 2020, this past year on Big Brother.
Let's touch base then.
Nicole and I have been working real hard.
Good. I mean, you're rolling the dice big time with
And you
me
feel
here.
so safe, but like...
I don't feel safe. This might be one of the closer votes.
But I literally didn't think that. That's the hardest part.
It's what it is. I mean, I just don't want to go.
I know, it's my fault. Like, honestly, like, you should blame me and like...
I will.
Man.
Probably, if
I'll
I
take all
go,
responsibility.
I probably won't vote for you unless you're against Kevin or Day.
That's fine, and
Or
I...
David.
That's fine, and I accept that, and I take all responsibility.
Yeah.
I know you hate me, and
I don't hate you.
know,
I
but
just
you
am
don't even-
disappointed in you.
I know, I feel...
Because I feel like you
okay.
shouldn't make this mistake on your third time playing.
I'm sorry.
I just need to make sure I have 4 votes. That's all. I mean, like, this game's given me so much, and for it to end on not even my mistake. Like, I had much higher expectations for my second play than to be a nominee by my own alliance.
I'm really
It's
sorry,
like,
Ian.
if I go, Nicole is going to be a complete loss.
I know.
I mean, like, you've pretty much tanked all of our games if I go. And that's on you.
All right.
I'm sorry.
I know. I'm sorry, Ian. Honestly, I'm really sorry, okay?
I just hope that I have all the votes. I just need 4, right?
I know. You will have them, Ian.
I mean, I gotta tell it like it is.
First of all, how are you, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you? I'm good. Happy to be here. Just a busy, long day at work, and good to be done for the day.
Catch us up. You're not in New Orleans anymore. You left Tulane. Are you in Houston?
I am. Yeah. Sorry, I just went cloudy on your. There you go. Sorry. Yeah. So I live in Houston, Texas right now. I don't live in New Orleans anymore. I graduated Tulane in 2013 with my chemical engineering degree. I moved to Houston in 2014. I was teaching high school physics for a while, which was a really fun gig. But now I work in consulting, a little bit of management consulting, software implementations. Been doing that for about 3 years now.
Man, that is fantastic. You want to talk a little Big Brother?
Yeah, sure. We can always chat a little BB.
Are you watching the current season?
I'm not, but I have some familiarity.
I want to ask you a couple of things, being a part of Big Brother. What was, obviously, your win on season 14? But what was, other than the money and the win, what was some of the best things about being on the show that you can remember, that you'll remember forever?
I think that the fun thing about being on the show for me was I grew up watching it. So I was a big fan when I was a little kid, and throughout middle and high school. So getting to go in there was like living out a dream of mine from when I was 10 years old. So it was sort of just like the full circle, if you will, of being someone who was a big fan of watching the show at a young age and then getting to go on, play, and win. That was huge for me. I think also I was a big fan of Survivor as well, and when they had their first All-Star season, I thought that was really cool. So getting to play a second time as an All-Star, I thought was really, really fun. I really enjoyed that.
Remind me, did your own alliance put you up for eviction on the All-Star show?
Yeah, I guess it was sort of an alliance, right? Danny ended up nominating me. She sort of ran out of options as far as who to nominate. I think the three people that she originally had nominated, two of them got pulled down, so she had to reach for a fourth. Sort of similar to what happened to this Travis guy, from what I understand on this most recent season. So that was definitely a little bit unfortunate. At the end of the day, she did what I expected her to do, which was nominate three people that weren't me. So, it's hard to be mad at her. At the end of the day, that's just the way it goes sometimes.
Is there now that you've played the game twice, is there a secret formula for winning Big Brother?
I don't think that there's a secret formula because, there's the twists and turns that they throw in every year that you just can't prepare for. I think that there are general guidelines that are good. It seems like, just generally, one of the good things generally is being the first head of household. The first head of household wins way more than they should mathematically. I think there's been 5 or 6 people that have been HOH1 and gone on to win. It's one of those things that can go either really well for you or really, really poorly. It just depends on how you play it.
That's fascinating. Now that you look back over being on Big Brother and everything that's happened in your life since and because of Big Brother, are there any downsides? Do you ever think, maybe I shouldn't have done that?
I think that Big Brother has just been overall really a net positive for my life. It's a very difficult and psychologically taxing game to play. However, I think that overall the experience has been an incredibly positive one, not just for the monetary rewards, but just for the adventure and the experience of being able to say that you did that and twice for me. I think that it's just well worth it in the end.
How do you guys that are on Big Brother, how can you afford to allocate so much time away from either work or school, or how did that play into it? Because you didn't know if you were going to be there for the entire duration or just a couple of days, Yeah.
It's a big commitment, right? For me, the first time I did the show, I was in college. So, it was a pretty straightforward idea for me. It was if I made it to jury, then I would, I had my parents, they could withdraw me from the fall semester back in 2012 as soon as I made it to the jury stage. And if I got voted out early, then I would just go back to school in late August and just go about like normal. That being said, for the second time, I was working as a consultant at that point. And I ended up leaving my job to play. It was a big leap of faith, definitely. But, we were in the COVID times. We still are, I guess. But, we were really in the thick of it then. And there was a lot of uncertainty anyway. So it just seemed like a pretty good time to go ahead and, see what's out there. I felt like if I turned it down, I would always wonder what would happen. So, yeah, it's a big risk. You have to commit a lot of time. But for me, it was worth it, I think.
Knowing what you know now, if given the opportunity, would you do it again?
I think I'm done with it. I never ever say never, but it is really psychologically taxing, and I have to close the book on it at some point, right? So it's fun. It's a great time. I guess money talks, right? but I think twice is enough, honestly. So I enjoyed it, look back fondly, but overall, I have had my fill.
Some of the other alums have gone on to do other shows, Survivor and Challenge and some things like that. You have any desire to do any other type of reality show?
I think maybe like Amazing Race or something like that could be fun. One of the ones that's a little bit of a shorter time commitment, but I really kind of want to focus on my career at this point. I'm getting, I hit 30 this March, so I definitely want to look forward as far as my career goes. And taking time away is just not really realistic to do these shows. It just you don't come off as someone who's serious about their career if you do that a lot. So I think for me, probably done, but never say never.
Well, I've talked to some alumni of different, reality shows, and they make being on reality shows a career, actually.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen this with like the challenge. I think there's like Johnny Bananas is one that comes to mind, who's probably done the show, over at least 10 times, right? And he's won a ton of times. But I have no desire to do that. I got to use the chemical engineering degree for its intended use, and we're not going to go on the challenge a bunch of times and or do Big Brother 5 times. That's just not going to happen. Not realistic for me.
You ever keep up with any of the Big Brother crew members that you were with in season 14, or on the other show?
I do a little bit. Yeah, I actually do. I talk to Brittany every once in a while, and Mike, Malin from my original season, every rare once in a while.
You and Nicole were kind of friendly for a while there. You ever talk to her anymore?
I haven't talked to her in a while. I know that she's, having her kid. I don't know if she's had her kid yet. I know she was really pregnant the last picture I saw. But, I hope she's doing well. But that's just the reality of it. A lot of times, people don't really talk after these shows. You think, you'll be really tight with people, but you kind of just get out of the house and move on, and that's sort of it.
You were a member of the jury for All Stars, and
Right.
You and Cody had some interesting conversations in the House, some challenges in the House between the two of you, and you voted for him to win when you were in the jury. Walk us through that a little bit.
I think for me, I think the game really comes down to 3 really important parts. There's the competitive side, there's sort of like the strategic side, and the social side. And I think that Enzo's social game was incredible. I thought he played it a lot better than Cody on that end. But I think that Cody's strategic game and his competitive game overall were just a lot better than Enzo's. So 2 or 3, he gets my vote. Really solid showing for Cody. That's just what it came down to for me. I didn't hold any, the fact he voted against me or anything like that. Said he would vote for me to stay. Anything like that against him. I just wanted to say, hey, this is what the game is. This is how I'm voting. That's it.
Julie, Chen called you a class act, and I can definitely see that even today in your visit with us for these few minutes. This is an interesting question I wanted to ask you. Out of everyone you played with in season 14, and out of everyone you played with in All Stars, if you had to go into business in the real world with one person, who might that be?
If I had to go into business with any one person from either of the 2 seasons, I would probably say, let's think about that one. I think Brittany, I would say, because I think what I could do is like the hard math, right? Like the finance part. And then she would be doing sales because she has the social skills that I just lack. And I think that you have to have both of your bases covered. So I think that socially she's like fantastic. I think she has probably one of the best social games out of anyone that's ever played Big Brother. So I'd probably go with Brittany. She's trustworthy as well. So what more could you ask for in business?
No question. And since you are such a class act, you may not want to answer the second part of the question. Is there anyone you would definitely steer clear of as far as a joint business venture with?
I'm gonna refrain on that one. I mean, we can read whatever news stories we want, make of that what we will. But yeah, I'll steer clear of the answer there.
So, a family still here in Louisiana, or what?
No. So my family's up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I grew up there. They've lived up there my entire life. So, yeah, no family over in Louisiana. I have no ties to Louisiana anymore. I have no one there.
Yeah, I thought
Last time I visited was 2016.
Wow, what
Yeah,
a
it's
year
been
that
5
was
years.
with flood and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I remembered that you weren't originally from New Orleans, but I knew that you were at Tulane, and I thought perhaps you had some cousins, siblings, somebody down in New Orleans. that you
Nothing.
might-
No. I went to Tulane kind of on a look. I just did a campus tour, visited there, and just decided I didn't want to be anywhere else. So that's it.
Well, you represented Louisiana very well in both
Thanks.
season 14 and in All-Stars, and you're certainly an All-Star to this day, and our continued best wishes for you, and thank you for spending a few minutes with us.
Hey, absolutely. Thanks for having me on here. I really appreciate it.
Take care, Ian. Good to talk to you, man.
All right. Sounds
later.
good. Thank you.
You bet. Bye-bye. Ian Terry, winner of Big Brother 14, which was back in 2012, now lives in Houston, chemical engineer with his own consulting business. What a great success story he has had. If you're not familiar with Big Brother, you need to check it out. It's Sunday nights and Wednesday nights and Thursday nights on WAFB. It takes place in a house where it follows a group of 16 strangers for a long period of time. There are 94 HD cameras in this house and 113 microphones. And it's recording 24/7. And you can actually watch the live feed on CBS All Access as well, on the free show right here on WAFB on, again, Sunday nights, Thursday nights, Wednesday nights, and then their live eviction on Thursday nights. So you'll see Julie Chen Moonves live on Thursday nights during the summer on CBS. Some great programming we offer you right here. Our thanks to our special friend Julie Chen Moonves. We'll be catching up with her again a little later on. And also Ian Terry, now in Houston from Big Brother 14. And to you, thank you so much for watching the Asian Nation. And please, let's put the politics aside and get vaccinated. I'm vaccinated. The governor's vaccinated. There are a lot of people that are vaccinated that said they weren't going to get vaccinated, and they're doing fine. So talk to your doctor, talk to your family, pray about it. But if it at all, I want to make a plea for you to get vaccinated so we can end this COVID pandemic. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining us here on Asian Nation. We're here every Tuesday morning at 10. Take care. See you on 9 News this morning.